I used to run half marathons, but stairs, man, they always made my legs feel like jelly. So I set out to get stronger legs, but with so many leg exercises out there, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. I've tried and tested all of them, and I realized it comes down to just 2 exercises. So in this video, I'm going to show you the only exercises you really need and why you might want to skip the back squat. Okay, so step 1 is critical if you don't want to feel overwhelmed with a sea of options to pick from. So if you want strong legs, you can do a back squat, a front squat, a circus squat,
a split squat, lunges, leg extension, Romanian deadlifts, a lying or seated leg curl, hip thrusts, leg press, head.
Man, just saying these out loud confuses the shit out of me, and I'm doing this for a living. So let's break it down, shall we? Because all of these exercises are pretty much the same. What, really? Yes, the primary function of the quads is knee extension. That's just a fancy word for straightening your leg. A back squat, you bend your knees as you squat down, and then as you come up, you straighten your legs. It's exactly the same for a front squat, a leg press, and a hack squat. And now look at the leg extension. Can you guess what happens? Exactly. You bend your knee and you straighten your leg. I mean, the name kind of gave it away, didn't it? All quad exercises are fundamentally the same movement pattern. And the same actually applies for your hamstring exercises, because one of the hamstring's functions is hip extension. It's driving the hips forward to stand up from a bent over position, which is exactly what you do in a Romanian deadlift. But check this out. When we flip the Romanian deadlift, do you see which exercise this becomes? Exactly, it's a hip thrust. So in a sea of all these exercises, when we simplify all of this, almost all exercises fit in 2 fundamental categories. You have a squat pattern, which targets the front of the legs, your quads, and a hinge pattern, which targets the back of the leg, the hamstring and the glutes. So then, knowing all this, what are the best exercises for stronger legs? Most people would answer this question with a back squat, because it's considered the king of quad growth. But I don't agree. For starters, it's a very complex movement, and a lot of people struggle with mobility issues. There are usually 2 common problem areas, which are the ankles and the hips. For example, if your heels lift off the floor, or you lean forward too much, it's probably one of those. Now this can, and in my opinion it should be fixed, but that'll take weeks, if not months, of consistent mobility work. Secondly, because the back squat is a free weight exercise, your core muscles need to work really hard. It's your lower back and ab muscles that prevent you from falling over. And usually, your core gets tired before your legs do. That means your quads never actually reach that true limit. So in reality, you'll never properly train the legs to failure. And if you want stronger legs, that's exactly what you should do. Train them close to failure. There is a quad exercise that is very similar to the back squat that allows you to safely take your legs to failure and address the mobility limitation. It's genuinely my favorite quad exercise. Drum rolls! The hack squat. And this is my favorite for a couple of reasons. In this variant, the core is supported, so the legs feel first. We can load heavy weights, which creates more stimulus to the quad muscles. And because you don't have to worry about being crushed by the barbell on your back, you naturally have more confidence going into your set. And if you do have mobility limitations, we can adjust your foot positioning to address this, which in a back squat you can't really. If your gym doesn't have a hack squat, go for lunges or split squats. They're just as effective, but fair warning, they are brutal. And it will take a bit longer since you train one leg at a time. As for hamstring, my go-to exercise is the one that mimics the exact function of the hamstrings. And we do this with the Romanian deadlift, which is also called RDL. The difference between a regular deadlift and a Romanian deadlift is that the RDL, we keep our legs straight. The key of this movement, however, is to lead with the hips. A common mistake is that people turn an RDL into a back exercise. So if you're feeling this primarily in your lower back, you're doing it wrong. The movement should be a hip hinge, which means you push your hips back, you keep your back neutral until you feel that stretch in your hamstring. A great cue for this exercise is trying to touch your butt against an invisible wall behind you. But the mistake I see most often, bending the knees a little bit too much. Yes, and there should be a slight bend, but if you bend too much, it just becomes a squat again. And the reason why I prefer this exercise is that it directly targets hamstring development through that hip hinge pattern. And getting stronger at hinging is so important as it shows up everywhere in daily life. But a quick heads up, the muscle soreness from RDLs can be brutal, like struggling to sit down for 3 days kind of sore. If the soreness is too much or you want extra hamstring work, you can also add in leg curls for isolation. But honestly, RDLs alone will get your hamstrings super strong. If I had to pick just 2 exercises to get strong legs, it would be the hack squat and RDL. If you do these consistently, you train them close to failure, and you pair that with good recovery and nutrition, you'll double your strength in the next couple of months. But here's the thing, you can train your legs perfectly and still not see the results in the mirror. And why is that? Because training is only half the equation. If you're not lean, a layer of body fat will cover your muscle. Watch this video next, in which I break down the exact 5-step system my clients use to uncover their hard-earned muscle.